Sorry?
First, I'd like to thank you for taking your time and joining me for this session.
Yeah, yeah.
It's much appreciated. If you could tell me a bit about yourself, that would be great.
My name is Theo. I am the content designer of Arena. Specifically, I work on the personal story.
You say you work as a the developer for the story. How would you say your personal input? How much of that you put into it, as in your own creativity?
So with our process, the way it works is we as a team, so the personal story team, we hammer out specifically what we want to do throughout the game. So we have a set path that we want to. We have a set. This chapter is going to have these elements to it. This is what we want to do for this race. This is what we want to do for this race. These are choices we want the player to make. And then beyond that, that framework we initially set up, it's up to the individual designers that are working on it, and the writers that are working on it, to determine what happens in each of the story steps. And that's our process. It's a little bit different for events. It's a little bit different for systems. It just depends on the particular team.
If someone new, someone that never played MMOs before, how would you say that Guild Wars will actually appeal to them? How it completely knocks other MMOs away?
So one of the biggest things we've tried to do with Guild Wars 2 is make it accessible to folks that, both folks that like MMOs and to people who hate MMOs, because there are actually a ton of people that would never play an MMO just based on a lot of things that have become standard in MMOs. That's why we changed so many things. One of the big things that makes the game appealing to players who don't like MMOs is we focus on an action combat system. I don't know if you've had a chance to play the demo. Excuse me.
I tried to demo. It's quite cool actually. I mean, I like the way you can interact with the actual game. It's got a nice immersive feel to it.
Yeah, so the action in Guild Wars 2 it involves a lot of movement. If you play demo, then you see people dodge roll to avoid attacks. A lot of abilities are position based. A lot of them control position, control movement, and we want a much tighter feeling game for the combat. Also, for someone coming into the game that doesn't have MMO background or doesn't like MMOs, the personal story is actually quite different, quite a different way of telling the story than what's traditionally done in MMOs. Excuse me. Traditionally, MMO stories tend to be meta. They tend to be about big world events and characters that aren't your character. You might help those characters out or interact with them now and then, but mostly you're along for the ride. Your character's really a faceless, nameless character. With Guild Wars 2, we try to make the character someone you grow attached to, someone that's really your character. And the first point you see this is in character creation. We start by having you fill out a biography for your character, where you determine who your character is, what their place in the world is. So if you're playing a human, for example, you would decide, is my character from the streets? Are they a commoner? Are they a gentleman? And the choice you make there will determine what story is presented to you. And there's much choice in the biography to do it, but also, as you play through the game, you'll be faced with numerous story choices that will cause the story to branch, and there'll be lasting consequences for those choices. So, for example, in one situation, your friend who's in with bandits, he might inform you that the bandits are going to poison as well. Now, your choice here is, do you go and try and stop them from being poisoned, or you try to protect your friend and snitch at the bandits because they're going to come after him? Now, if you don't protect your friend can die. If he dies, it's permanent. You never can see him again, and you have to live with those consequences. And the story will branch because of that. And then the third thing we've done to try and correct what we see as not really the best way to do things is the event system, the dynamic event system. This is a response to problems we see with the quest system in most MMOs. With quests, before in other MMOs, you have like a laundry list of 30 things to do, and most of them you don't care about. A lot of people don't read them. And it's just not a really great way to present that content. So with the event system, what we do is we try to craft a living, breathing world. There's events constantly going on in the world that change the world state, and you can participate in them. So, for example, let's say It's populated by human NPCs, guards, merchants, all that. Let's say you arrive there and it comes under attack from centaurs. The event will pop up saying, defend the garrison from the centaurs. And you can help fight off the centaurs. You can actually drive them off. Then the garrison is a safe place for all players. There's guards there to protect them. There's NPCs that sell items. There might be a merchant there that has a caravan of goods he needs escorted to another area. And that will start another event. So the events can chain together like that. Similarly, they can also branch in that if, let's say the garrison falls, either because you weren't there, because no one's there, or because you were just beaten by the centaurs. In that situation, the centaurs will take over the garrison and kill everyone that's there, and this area that used to be safe is now hostile because it's full of centaurs. And in that way, the world state changes. So if you arrive there and the garrison's been taken over by centaurs, and the objective will be to retake the garrison from the centaurs. And if you manage to do that, then the area will repopulate slowly with the merchants and the guards and the ability to do those caravan escort events come up again. So the world state's constantly changing, and it creates a very organic experience.
With some MMOs I've played, you have PvP, player fees, AI. Now, if you do a mission, say if you're a new person, you go in, you want to say, you just want to play system, other people can come in and they can attack you, rob from you, completely destroy the mission. How do you ensure that this doesn't happen on Guild Wars?
So, perhaps I should clarify. The way it works, the way PvP works is we have 3 types. We have hot jordan PvP, which is you can jump in anytime, almost from the start, and it'll level you up to 80, and you'll fight in balance matches against other players. I don't know if you've seen the PvP we've been demoing for the press here. We also demoed the Pax of Love, but the particular map we're showing is a conquest map. It's 5-on-5. We'll have more maps as well once the game launches. We're still finalizing what the national launch will be. We also have tournament style PvP, which is ladder style PvP. That's our that's going to be a more competitive environment. And then we'll have world versus world PvP, which will be a game played over the course of 2 weeks in a huge map with hundreds of players fighting each other in heat sieges. And all there is have really epic field battles. So what we don't have, which is kind of what your original question is we don't have players fighting each other in just the system world where people are doing events or story sets. So that's not really a concern of someone briefing you there.
Oh no, because I was saying, because I come from a game called EVE Online.
Yeah.
So on this one, you can go into space. It's like, sandpit.
Yeah, it won't be like that. It's not going to be something where you're just trying to do your own thing and someone jumps out and kills you. That's not what we want. That's a very frustrating experience for players, and that's not what we want here.
I've seen so many new people go on it. Thankfully, I'm a veteran on it, but I left that game because it's completely gone down. But loads of new players, they go into the game and they want to have fun, but they don't see that experience. It's nice to see that Guild Wars are doing that,
Yeah, it's pretty important that people have fun when you play a game. So.
That's the whole point of a game. You buy it to just play for fun. Now, Guild Wars is free to play, and it's going to be supported by microtransactions inside the game.
Yeah.
Now, some games developers, they decide to charge loads of money for microtransactions. How will you guys make sure that it's affordable for everyone?
So, Guild Wars, Arena has always been dedicated to doing a subscription-free model. No subscriptions. We feel that's unfair to players, and we feel it's just not a sustainable model. With our microtransactions, our core tenet of them is we never want to sell power. We never want microtransactions to be something that a player has to buy to feel like they're actually progressing. We want them to be fun things, cosmetic things, things that are interesting, but we never want them to be required. And the way we prevent ourselves from stepping over that line is just sticking that core tenet, never sell power.
I think that's one problem that people found with other games like World of Tanks.
Yeah.
Where you buy gold and you get powerful bombs and powerful tanks.
Yeah.
So it's whoever has more money in real life, they actually develop faster.
Yeah, some games do that, and maybe it's their decision how they want to handle it. But for Guild Wars, we definitely feel
like, stay, in touch with your user base and make sure.
So we are all about the fans. You guys are the reason we do it. You are our motivation, and a lot of times you're our inspiration also. We have a really robust community team that constantly checks the forums to see what the pulse of the fan base basically is. And a lot of designers regularly read the forums to find out what fans are talking about. So I say this a lot, especially these times when I'm speaking to someone. If fans feel strongly about something, they should post about it because they will get back to us, and that's something that really matters to us. Delivering you the experience that you want.
So when we play the game, will we see developers running around as well doing custom fights?
Sorry?
When we play the game, will we see you guys playing as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, a whole bunch of us are going to definitely play the game after lunch.
As one of the core developers of this game, what would you say you pride yourself most on Guild Wars?
Well, I'm a little biased whenever you get asked a question what I'm most proudest of in Guild Wars. Since I'm on the personal story team, personal story is obviously the thing I like the most in the game. I also think the PvP in Guild Wars is fantastic. I play a bit of fun with the press, and it's really exciting. It's really well done. And if you ever get a chance to check it out, you should definitely do so.
Will do. So, last question. How long have you been working for the company at all?
What?
How long have you been working for Guild Wars?
So I've been a designer on Guild Wars for about a year. I worked the previous year at ArenaNet as quality assurance. So 2 years in total, 1 year as a designer.
Well, I'd like to thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.